Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with a brand new video. And you know son, for the first time in a long time, this almost feels too soon to be making a video. You know what I mean by that? Like the weekend, the frustrations, the anger, the disappointment, it feels like it's still sitting right here on the chest and I've not had enough time to get rid of it. I'm still moody, I'm still grumpy and everything like that, but maybe, just maybe, these players will be feeling the exact same way as we feel, people, and they'll have that in their chest as well. And maybe, just maybe, these players will be able to use all that and get what we need to get from tomorrow's game, and that is the 3 points. Because there is simply no more room for error, people. It is time to be perfect, and that starts tomorrow with this massive game versus St Johnstone, which has now become our most important game of the frickin' season. But before we go more from the Rangers side of things, because trust me, there is so much to break down in today's video, especially when we start speaking about who's going to be missing the game tomorrow. Wait to see the list of the Rangers players which will do it of tomorrow's game. There's honestly so much to discuss from that side of things, but before we get there, as always, we'll start off by having a look at tomorrow's opposition, who's of course St Johnstone, who at my current time of recording today's video are sitting 11th in the old SPFL table. Well, that's right, they must be counting their lucky stars that Dundee are getting slapped for pillar to post every single week and destroying their goal difference, because that's given more and more of a lifeline to St Johnstone, and that's mental to be fine. But even going back to the last preview and everything that we've done in St Johnstone, I was still saying they were in a false position, because again, this is a talented team. Maybe no way guys that are really going to jump out at you in with skills or whatever, but they're hard working, they know their jobs, they stick to it, they're disciplined, etc, etc. So I did say earlier on in the campaign they were in a false position, they'll bounce back, but there've been no bounce back, people. And this is a team that won 2 cups last season with the so-called best manager, which still baffles me to this day, that entire argument, because the best manager in the league last season was the one who played the entire league campaign frickin' defeated. And listen, I'm going to sit and have a wee bit of fun and some digs here or there about St Johnstone, because the St Johnstone fans were having digs at me last campaign. But again, for me, they did have such an incredible year that I do think they're almost a victim of their own success, not only in terms of the players that they lost, but coming into this campaign, maybe mentally, because of what they achieved. They know they'll never get that again. Or if they have reached well beyond where they were at the football club, and they were able to go and put a historic year in place, that maybe something just goes off on there and they can't get back to that level. They can't push that ceiling because they've already done it and they've achieved everything that they could have achieved. And it's almost a case of second season syndrome when you see teams in the English league and that they come up and they finish in the top 10. The likes of Sheffield United, for instance, they had a brilliant campaign, then they're doing their Leeds last season, and then they're struggling now this season, etc. So I think there is a wee bit in that. Once you've reached that incredible heights, you just lose that, and it sort of plays its part. And the new well and truly in a relegation dogfight where every single point is vital. And to everyone who was roasting me for the St Johnstone side, by the way, for saying that St Johnstone would be relegation candidates last season, I was only 1 year off. Give me a break. But all joking and all that aside, the best way I can summarise the St Johnstone team for you, so you know what to expect going in to tomorrow, is they have been a team that's been 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Now, that is not only my favourite song from San Andreas, it perfectly just captures their season, because they will eventually have a good result. I mean, they bet Hearts 2-1 2 weeks ago, people, and everyone went, right there, that's going to be it, that's going to be the catalyst for their season, they're going to go on now in a run. Well, they followed that incredible win, which they deserved, by the way, and I'll give them credit, they deserved to beat Hearts on that day. Brilliant win, 3rd place in the league, Hearts as well. But how did they follow that up? With a team that was right down in the relegation battle by the name of Ross County, where they got absolutely slapped rotten as Ross County ran over them for 3-1, and that's what I'm talking about. Good result, and then just absolutely battered off the park, and that's what's been happening. That's the pattern, and it's been happening since the start of this season when everyone thought they were going to bounce out it. But that is who they are this season. Very, very good on their day. Their day is just not coming around very often this season. And lastly, regarding St Johnstone and how they set up and everything, should we expect many changes or anything different from the last time we played them on the 12th of December? No, not really. They still line up in that 3-4-1-2 on paper, which is basically a 5-3-2 and everything like that. It drops really in. The wing backs get in, they make it as hard as possible to break, and then they've always got that out ball and everything like that. The only thing I would say is you're hearing all these things and you're seeing all these, oh, they're struggling, but they can turn up on the day and they can make it very, very difficult. That's a wee bit of a warning sign for this Rangers side as well, who are struggling away from home, because their strength so far this season, again, it's not happened very often, but where they're best at is set pieces, putting balls into the mixer. So I expect to see more than we've ever seen all season long, especially with how we're defending and playing in terms of the goalkeeping in the centre-back position. So expect them to sit very, very deep, try and get the ball as wide as much as possible, and just throw in balls constantly, people. And I imagine we'll see that every single time they touch the ball, which again, I don't imagine will be very often, but when they get it, it'll go wide and the ball will be dropped right in that 6-yard box, hoping that McGregor stays on his line. And that's all I've really got to say about the St Johnstone side. Big, honest team, everything you came to expect. Maybe the classic Scottish side, if you will, but given where they are in the league, I expect them to be even more anti-football than they normally are whenever we go up there, people, because every single point is vital. So all this passing we're doing round the back, expecting them to drop out and everything like that, might be a complete and utter waste of time tomorrow. So we're going to have to adjust to that and take our chances when they do fall versus the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 men that will be in defence. But enough speaking the opposition. Let's get to the Rangers side of today's video, because you can probably tell by my tone, my facial expressions, I'm still annoyed about the weekend. And I know I've already said it in today's video, but there is absolutely no more room for slip-ups. We have used every single card up that we had. The one game, or you have one of these games, or that happens in a season. We have used every single one of them, people. We have nothing left apart from wins, and that's all we can get, especially away from home, where we've honestly been shambolic, because believe it or not, we have not won in our last 4 away matches. Aberdeen, Ross County, Celtic, and in that Dundee United game. And just to top all off that horrible run of form, slap bang to the nearest game was of course the Sunday game versus Motherwell, where we absolutely threw a 2-0 lead away. So it's no positivity right now, there's no much, and I know some things have went against us in these games. I'm looking at Dundee United with horrible refereeing decisions, and I know that, people, right? And again, you can have these games, you can have these moments, but it's now crunch time. It is time to be champions, and when it's championship time, you need your players to step up and show they want to be champions, and they can take games away, and they need to take the game away for the officials. They get enough chances every game to make the referees completely irrelevant, people, and that is the truth if you look at our last 2 games with the 60 shots that we've had, right? So we have players that's capable of doing it. They need to do it now, and they need to start tomorrow versus St Johnstone. Now I know all this is just stating the obvious, but it just needed to be said, and it needed to just get lifted off the shoulders, and it just feels better when you say it, and I'll feel even better if we start doing it. So please, Mr Rangers, lovely wee win tomorrow, that would be very nice. But let's transition into speaking about this Rangers team, because we mentioned earlier with the players that's ruled out. Well, wait till you hear this. Amad Diallo, Hollander, Aaron Ramsey, Ryan frickin' Jack. And last but not least, Stephen Davis, people. That's right, Stephen Davis. Somebody I thought maybe could come into this game now, maybe dictate the tempo, keep the ball ticking, and keep people's standards up if we needed them. Well, even Stephen Davis has gone, people, and he's been barely used so far this season. Now, there's been no official word what's been said, or I know there's speculation, COVID this, COVID that, or anything like that. All we do know is Jack and Hollander are expected to be back for the weekend. Aaron Ramsey's the only one at the moment is still training, by the way, but he's back soon, even though he's training. So it seems to be a weird decision about no risking him or bringing him back too fast or putting him in too early. I don't know what that is, people, but if he's training, surely he can go. But whatever the decision's there, but that's where the players sit right now. So Hollander and Jack will be back for the weekend. Amad Diallo the weekend after that. No word on Stephen Davis, and of course Ramsey is training and he will be back very soon. So that's a couple of rotations and changes there that you would have liked to been brought in to the team, because one of the things I think is the problem with Rangers right now is just the freshness and energy. We're playing so much, we gave so much in that Dortmund game, right? And that's when you've got to use your squad and change it and freshen up, make subs, keep things up. And but we're not really doing it. And I'm looking at boys like the likes, say, Scotty Arfield, who we mentioned, running on empty, right? Just got nothing left of that. He gives absolutely everything, but there's nothing left there. And Joe Rebo's like that as well. He was on sparkling form and couldn't be touched. And for me, he's still playing well, but you can see 50, 60 minutes, the energy just zaps for the laddie. But that's because we're playing him every single minute. We're no rotating, and that's where my frustration starts to come in with Gio, because I know everyone's had their say on Giovanni and everything like that, but for me, My issue with him is just this. We have 5 subs available. So many pundits, so many people around our game has talked up the advantage this gives to both old firm sides because they can drastically change game and bring on even more quality and keep the freshness and quality up here. But we're making 1 or 2 subs a game, and that's baffling for me. I think we're running our players into the ground and everything. That's why everyone's picking up knocks here or there, missing games of football. I think we need to get a wee bit smarter with our substitutions and keep it fresh because, again, fresh legs to quicker to react, quicker to tackle could be the difference in getting 3 points in one when you're in those nippy bum time games. And that's what I've really got to say about Gio and where I actually sit, because again, I read all the comments of that. I've seen a lot of people asking me, what's your opinion on Giovanni with the record and the horrible form and all these points dropped? Where do you sit? That's where I sit right now. I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he needs to start learning for his mistakes because, again, Steven Gerrard made a lot, but Gio's inherited a much better squad than what Steven Gerrard did, so he's seen it played out. Again, we've got that advantage of the 5 subs. We need to just start fricking making them, because if we've got boys sitting on the bench there who aren't good enough to come off the park and play a part of the game, or come on when we're 2-0 up and cruising versus Motherwell, then what are they there for? Like, why are we not just filling it with youth players? If we're not wanting to bring them on, and if they're not good enough to come on, why are they there? Exactly, people. So if they're on the bench, we've got 5 subs, let's use it and keep that freshness going. That's where I need to go. It needs to learn for that mistake and keep us as fresh as possible, because we've got so many games coming, man. And I think that's the only thing that's going to get us. If we are to be perfect like we need to be, that's the only way, in my opinion. So to keep it short, I'm not Gio out, I'm just Gio make some frickin' subs. And where are you sitting now with the Rangers team and how are you feeling about that? What changes or that would you make to the starting 11? Again, I didn't imagine there'll be many, even though I think there does need to be changes with the likes of Arfield and everything. I don't imagine there will be, partly based on what's been forced on him by the injuries, but also Gio's very rigid with who he likes to start. The only change I would imagine will involve Lundstrom being moved back into the middle of the park where he's best, by the way, and I imagine Balogun will be back in, because if there's ever a game you need 2 centre-backs on the park, it's St Johnstone. The way they're playing right now, all for set pieces, all for long throws, etc., you need your 2 centre-backs in there, and you need everyone who can win a header on that frickin' park. Now, you might have noticed from that as well, by the way, I didn't mention the goalkeeping situation, even though I think we all know and we see it now, and it's crap to say and everything like that. Alan McGregor is on the decline, and I know it's hard to admit and everything like that, but he's never going to get better. And I've seen some people's comments, and I love that he's defending him. I've defended him for a long time, and I took a lot of crap for the last couple of months for defending him, by the way, but now I feel like I'm at that spot. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. I can see that he's on the decline, and he's obviously not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse as it goes on, but again, he is still capable of moments and magic, and all I can hope, because I know he's not getting took out the game, I just know for a fact he's not going to be rotated out, so I can just hope what I'm going to see the Mora is a wee magic. I'd love to mention a McGregor moment, the Mora in the recap. That would be good, and then we've got decisions to make in the summer. But again, I didn't expect any changes to be made at the goalkeeper, even though I believe it's actually for the betterment of the team. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's reached the end of today's video. That's the oppositional preview, the Rangers conversation, the Gio conversation that a lot of people were asking, saying, you've not said your opinion on Gio. You've not... Well, now I actually have, and hopefully I've given you the answers that you want. You'll probably know, but you'll be angry at me at son. But again, that's why we get on so well, because we maybe didn't always agree, but we're always honest. So that's something for us. And speaking of honesty, by the way, predictions, what we thinking? Genuinely, what we thinking down in the comment section below. Let me know. Again, and I know I get accused of being a cheerleader and everything like that, and backing, but I think we will see a win tomorrow. I think we will see, in fact, a very good performance, and I think I'm going to be smiling in the recap. I hope I'm smiling in the recap, but I know how hard it could be on paper, and the more you stack up, it does lean towards a nippy bum time game, but I'm going to go with a cheeky Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0. I think we'll get the job done, we'll get the win that we desperately need, and we'll build and move on from frickin' there. So now that we've predicted it, let's wrap up today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow after the game. As always, I've been CJ992. That has been Rocky, who I don't know if it's coming up on the mic, by the way, but he's actually eating a bone right now, so if you're hearing some noise, that is Rocky. But until tomorrow after the game, take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best, and bye.